So the director of Space Jam 2 has some thoughts on fans that don't like his movie. So before we get to the director's comments, I wanted to just talk about LeBron James real quick, who, by the way, is one of the most disliked athletes online. He's pretty much spent the past 2 years destroying his brand, but hey, he's not much different than Hollywood and comic book pros and Star Wars employees. I mean, there's this big habit of telling half of your fan base to pretty much get effed. But he's been doing a damn good job of it. And one of the big things about him is he's kind of a hypocrite, particularly with the treatment of certain groups in China. It kind of flies in the face of the messages that he pushes about situations over here in America. And a lot of people notice that. The media protects him, though, and, none of this gets brought up. But people notice. Here's another one. LeBron James, the most hated NBA player, study says. Check out this map. Look at all these hates. Look at all these states that just can't stand him. But hey, I'm sure Space Jam 2 is going to be just fine at the box office. Just fine. I'll be interested to see how well this movie does for a few reasons, because it's not just LeBron James. LeBron James is a big one. He looks like a robot in the trailer for the movie, too. His acting is terrible. Not that Michael Jordan was winning any awards for his acting in Space Jam, but, there's still a big difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. First off, Michael Jordan was very, very, very loved by everybody. He's also a stand-up guy when it came to how he represented himself, in the media and stuff like that. And he still does a good job with that today. LeBron has been chasing his shadow forever, and he'll never, ever get in front of it. So there's a little bit more than just LeBron James here. If you remember, the big controversy before that everyone was talking about was this stuff with Lola Bunny. I remember a lot of people were talking about this and how they pretty much took away her sexuality. They just ripped it away. And honestly, it's like this is part of a bigger problem. And I think that people don't get it, or they just shut you down. They'll say, "Oh, go touch grass. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't spank it to a cartoon bunny." That's their argument right there. It's part of a bigger thing that's been going on in pop culture, where they make women ugly and less attractive, and they want to take away all of their sexual power. And like I said, you can see it. This is a good example. I made this and put this out on social media a few days ago. I mean, you can see the differences right there and what you get when you take a look at the different kind of designs that you get from different cultures, right? And I got this one here. This one got a lot of attention, which they could still never ratio, by the way, and they tried. This has finally died down. Been watching the responses for this one for a minute. I made a video on it. I almost thought about making another one because I thought it was so funny. I was at Anime Matsuri the entire time when people were melting down about this. But they say, "Oh, well, she's a female astronaut. She's not supposed to look good." It's like, well, it's a video game, And it's not that, real women don't look different or have wrinkles or whatever. But I'm playing in a video game and entertainment. Everyone used to be beautiful, but that changed. Now we all have to be reminded how simple we all are. And also, before I go back to Lola and Space Jam, I will say Returnal was actually a really good game. I was just saying, the whole point of this, right, and talking about Lola and everything, is the fact that they really have been trying to go out of their way to make women particularly ugly in entertainment areas. And it really is pretty obvious. But if you have any critique on this, it's always the same thing. It's the people that are most obsessed with patrolling sex and beauty that come out and tell you that you're obsessed with it, which is always absolutely hilarious. They're more obsessed with it than anybody because that's all they think about. They're always talking about it and going after it. I think they're the ones that really honestly get laid. None of them are, you know. If you try to, you like whip out some like 75-page contract. It's like that skit from Chappelle's Show where they sign a consent form for everything when they're getting it on. I'm sure some of you have seen it. Anyway, so now let's go back to Space Jam. Let's take a look at what the director is saying about people critiquing Lola. So Space Jam, A New Legacy's director, thinks y'all are super weird for mourning the loss of an over-sexualized Lola Bunny. The new, less curvy version of Lola Bunny appears in the upcoming Space Jam sequel. Now, I'm already pretty sure that this video will get the same comments on Twitter. Oh, it's a cartoon bunny. It's always something, isn't it? There's this weird thing going on with women, and I've touched on it a little bit, but particularly like with their chest size. A lot of women have a big chest. But what does it say to them when every form of media that's out now shames them for it and acts like they don't exist? It's something that's been going on for a while, and it's going on now. They've taken her chest away, right? Made her flat-chested. Is it a huge deal? Well, you know, it wouldn't be if there wasn't something weird going on. That's the real thing that's weird. It's why are they taking away features of women, right? Why can't women in media have large chests? They've pretty much taken it away in everything. This is just another example. But this is the same thing. Well, now it's just weird because it's a cartoon bunny. But it happens in every form of media. Look at Tifa in Final Fantasy VII Remake. They put like 4 sports bras on her. Well, we didn't change her chest size. We just taped them down. You're not allowed to be fit and have a chest anymore. Not in entertainment. And what does that say to people that have those things? That are fit and might have a chest or some curves? It's like they're trying to make these women feel ashamed for looking good or having features that are attractive. When director Malcolm D. Lee signed on to Space Jam: A New Legacy, he knew he wanted to rework Lola Bunny's over-sexualized form presented in the 1996 original. What he did not know is that this would bring a sea of super weird discourse concerning the now flat chest beneath Lola's basketball jersey. I had no idea that people would be that up in arms about a bunny not having boobs, Lee told Entertainment Weekly ahead of the film's premiere on July 16th. Listen, I understand people don't want things to change, but I think we needed some evolution with her, not by objectifying her, but by making her strong and still feminine. How is it objectifying if she has a chest, though? All of these characters are made to be human-like, okay? In the way they stand, look, walk, and talk. It's to make them a little bit more relatable, at least IMO, in my opinion. Why am I abbreviating that? Anyway, that's like part of the reason why. So, I mean, that argument to me doesn't really hold. It's a way to downplay people's criticism. And why isn't it an update to take away her human feminine features? Okay. Is that what it is? So if women have that, they're automatically objectified? No, but we have to take those things away. So he's putting a focus on here that the style change does not mean that actual living, breathing women in real life cannot have boobs and showcase strength at the same time. He just wanted the animated cartoon rabbit in his children's film to not have to be sexy and play basketball at the same time. Well, then she definitely has a lot of things in common with WNBA players. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we had all of these other women who were like, oh, you can't be strong and have big boobs. Sure you can, but we're talking about a cartoon bunny, not women, Lee says. That's funny. That's funny. The reason that women are saying that to you is because in every form of media, this is what's happening. Okay, it has very little to do with the fact that it's a cartoon bunny, but that's what you get. This is always the response to this criticism in these situations. What, you You don't, because it's a cartoon bunny, or in another situation, what, because it's a comic book character? Like, it's always the same thing. There really is something going on where they're taking women that look like this and turning them into this. It's not just Space Jam and a new legacy. But if you point this out, the obvious, well, you're just an incel. You need to touch grass. You need to just go wank it off. You need to go get laid or something like that. It's to dismiss your argument. This is why it's pointless to argue with these people. But money talks. We'll see how this movie does. I don't think this is going to be a hit. Maybe it will be, but I think people underestimate how disliked LeBron James is. He's not very liked. He's like the Amber Heard of the NBA. So we'll see. I'm interested. I'm always interested in seeing how these movies do. Maybe I'll be wrong. I was wrong about Black Widow. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.